good evening. Today we have a guest, and these guests are from the Pathfinder Community Connection, and they will like to explain about their program. So Trish, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Trish Feitner. I work for Pathfinder Community Connections. We're a local nonprofit housing and community development organization. I started working in Fort Wayne about 5 years ago when our parent office opened a branch here to help first-time home buyers access grant money to purchase homes in the Fort Wayne area.
Okay, good. What is your position in your organization?
I manage the office, and I'm also program manager for the Refugee IDA accounts, which we'll be talking about here today.
Thanks, Trish. Steve, why don't you introduce yourself?
All right. I'm Stephen Morgan. I work with Trish at Pathfinder Community Connections. I'm a state certified homeownership counselor, and most of my time I spend helping people avoid foreclosure. I've also taught financial literacy courses to young people and adults, and recently I've joined Trish in managing the Refugee IDA program.
Okay, that's a Refugee IDA program.
That's correct.
So Trish, can you explain me what is the Refugee IDA program?
Sure. IDA stands for Individual Development Account, and it is a match savings account, typically to help lower income families and households become self-sufficient. And the Refugee IDA accounts are designed specifically for refugees to help them save money to do one of the 4 goals that we have behind us that we'll be talking about.
So you mentioned about the word self-sufficiency.
Correct.
You know that in Fort Wayne there's a big Burmese refugees, and they are facing, that's challenging to be self-sufficient. So you use the word, and then if they are self-sufficient in here in the United States, in the adaptation process with this culture, it should be great if they can continue to grow themselves here.
Correct.
Okay?
We say, Ty, and I think this is a universal concept, that if you give someone a fish, they eat for one day. If you teach them and equip them to fish, they eat for a lifetime.
Right.
And the RIDA program, or Refugee IDA program, helps contribute to their ability to take care of their needs for the rest of their lives.
Okay, great. So you will match the fund, right? So
yes, it's a matching program,
Okay.
as Trish was saying, and it's really free money in the sense that for every $1 someone saves of their own earned income, we match with another $1.
Okay.
So if they save $1, they end up with $2. If they save $1,000, they end up with $2,000. And $2,000 is the limit that they can save,
Okay.
so that if they save $2,000, we match $2,000 and they have $4.
$4,000.
Now for family accounts, they can save up to $4,000. We will match with 4, and they'll have a total of 8.
Okay.
That's the best deal anywhere right now.
So so when you talk about that, in my mind, it seems like it sounds like 401k. You know that so we
A really
whatever
good 401k.
whatever we put a dollar is a matching for our employer, but here now is because of the current economy, it's depleting our 401k account.
Yes.
Okay, so for you it's not invest in the financial.
No, this is a savings account. The money they save is safe in their own savings account. We have a second account into which we deposit the match money, and when they have achieved their savings goal and are ready to buy either a house or start a small business or begin post-high school education or even buy an automobile to help them get to work or to their schooling, then we give them the match money, and they complete the goal.
Okay. I have a question. Okay. So like 401k, it's provided by the employer.
Yes.
So who will provide for this?
The funds that we're using for these accounts come from the Office of Refugee Resettlement to the state of Indiana, and then Pathfinder Community Connections is administering that program for the state. And the hope is that with this money, it'll help families become self-sufficient and achieve financial stability more quickly than they might just on their own. So that's what the hope is here.
So they don't have to pay back, right?
No payback. They're going to use the monies that they've saved and the monies that they're matched to achieve one of the 4 goals that we just mentioned.
Okay.
Now, there is a short period of time in which we need to expend these funds. So the sooner someone can apply, the better. All of the funds have to be saved and expended by September of 2013.
September 2013, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So about 2 more years.
Okay. So Steve, can you are the trainer or counselor, right?
Yes.
So what is the catch?
Well, there really isn't a catch. There are some requirements, and let me just go through those. This is for refugees who have been in the United States 3 years or less.
3 years or less, okay?
And there are IDA programs for people who have been here longer, but our program today, the Refugee IDA, is for 3 years or less. Also, this is for people whose incomes are low to moderate, low to medium income. For a 1-person household, for example, it's $21,660. For a 4-person household, it's over $44,000. So they would have to have earned income, employment income, at or below those annual gross amounts to be eligible. They would also need to agree to attend classes, a total of 8 hours, during which time they would learn about financial concepts, basic literacy skills, and if they're buying a home, for example, they would attend a home buying education course. If they were buying a car, they would learn about car buying education. There would be a class about that. A total of 8 hours of class time during which they'd learn how to be a good consumer of these types of goals.
Okay. The first thing is the refugees who are 3 years or under.
Yes.
And then their income
Right.
is lower than that amount.
That's correct.
It could not exceed that amount.
That's correct.
So it means it's low to moderate income people,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And then is this only for the refugees or any other people?
I would say refugees, asylees, and victims of human trafficking. People who have been forced to work and not be paid essentially slave labor.
Okay.
That kind of victim. I think most of the people who participate will be recent refugees.
Like Trish, okay. For example, like me, I've been here in 17 years in the United States. How about me if I would like to participate in this program?
You wouldn't be eligible for the refugee IDA accounts, but we have regular IDA accounts, regular individual development accounts, and as long as you meet the income limits and some other requirements, you might be able to participate in that. And your savings would be matched to purchase a home, start a small business, go to post-secondary education, and if you own a home already, you could use some of the funds to repair or do improvements on your home.
Okay.
Ty, I might add, this
Yes.
program is actually better for the refugees because the income limit is higher, so they can earn more than with a regular IDA, as I understand it. Also, I believe the match is better if they have a family account where they can save up to $4,000 and then earn the $4,000 in match money.
Okay. So about the refugees, Burmese community here, people are struggling. The first thing is the language barrier.
Yes.
And then there's a culture barrier, there's a different culture. And then number 3 is about the transportation.
Yes.
They don't have a transportation, so they could not get the job. So your categories, refugees who have a regular income, it means who has a job and a regular income, it means they already passed through the language barrier, right? So those people who work hard within 3 years, or who is a quick learner again, within 1 or 2 years, they get a job and regular income, will participate in your program.
It's a kind of reward for earning and saving and then choosing as a goal something that really does develop them as individuals or as families. And that would be things like a car to go to work or school, going to get more education, which increases their income and their value to the community in the future. And certainly many people want to own a home. We realize refugees come here generally with nothing. And this helps them get started.
Yes, so it means, end of the tunnel, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So people who work very hard, who pass through those barriers, will get a reward in the end, right? So it's encouraged to them and motivate to them. Tricia, you mentioned about the urgency.
Yes.
So can you explain about the little urgency that they need to apply?
Right. There are only 225 accounts available for the whole state of Indiana.
The whole state of Indiana.
Primarily, we're focusing on Indianapolis and the Fort Wayne area. So we hope that as many people as possible will come from Fort Wayne, and that's why we're here today to talk about the program and spread the word. So the sooner folks can apply with us, the better. The monies have to be saved and expended by September of 2013.
September 2013. Okay, so I'm sure that people might have, interesting in this IDA program, may have many questions. So how can they contact and how can they ask you?
Well, I think you're going to show our telephone number, and we have a toll-free number as well for people outside of the Fort Wayne community. And I know you have viewers in Tennessee and New York, and they have similar programs in their own states and communities, and I think you're showing those numbers as well. We generally ask them to contact us by phone or to visit the office. We do have language interpreters we can schedule for an appointment, which will help for people who are uncertain of their English. And we certainly will take the application, enroll them, they can begin saving, and we will coach and teach to make sure they achieve their goal.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, thank you very much, Trish and Stephen. Your program seems helpful to our community. That they are struggling and that they are trying to work very hard to achieve those goals. Okay, so thank you very much again, and thanks to the Pathfinder Community Connection plus SSTV people. Thank you.